Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Need More Info, a podcast exploring the worlds of movies, video games, and TV shows. I'm your host, Nate. So glad to be back, people. So glad to be back and being able to breathe now, because we've been away for a few weeks. We had a Jubilee celebration. The old Queen had her 70th anniversary of being in the palace and everything, and the UK decided to have a massive state of celebrations. And from those celebrations, I decided to get COVID. So that was fun to say the least. And I'm still not feeling 100% now, but really glad to be back. And joining me today, after 2-3 weeks now, is James. Welcome back, James.
Hey guys, thankfully I was at the same celebrations at Nate, but thankfully I did not get COVID. But hope you speedy recovery, Nate. I'm just lucky.
Yeah.
I fully admit I'm lucky.
Yeah.
Few people went down.
It's the funny thing, right? We were literally at the exact same things in close proximity, and you've avoided. You've had COVID, haven't you? Once.
I have.
Yeah. Getting COVID twice, COVID twice, electric cough-a-loo, as I like to call it, is not great. It really isn't. It put me out for pretty much a week. So that was fun. That was fun to find out. So yes, but no, honestly, people, it's glad to be back. It's great to be back. Obviously, the last time we were around, we decided to do our spoiler discussion for the movie Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. And I've heard that's actually coming to streaming services within the next few weeks, actually, for a lot of people. So everyone can finally enjoy that movie because it's absolutely amazing. I think we all agreed when we watched it, when we had that discussion. But obviously, we've come back now. There's been a ton of news. Unfortunately, we won't be able to cover everything. Next week, we'll no doubt be doing an Obi-Wan spoiler-filled discussion. James won't be part of that because he just doesn't care about Star Wars. So I think we can already guess that.
I want to, but I haven't seen it, so I'll just be...
Yeah, exactly, yeah. But obviously, we have had a massive influx of geeky news from movies to TV shows to the massive games week we've had. The E3, not E3 that we've had in this past week of all the massive game announcements. So we're going to be doing something a bit different this week. Instead of doing a topic, what we're going to do is we're going to have a little discussion on the games from not E3 or Summer Games Fest, Capcom, PlayStation Show, State of Play. We'll go through that and everything. And then we're just going to do a run through the news initially. So then what we'll do is we'll have the game section as a separate portion afterwards. And we'll probably talk for 30 minutes on that there. But yes, right. So people, you know the role. Oh, it's good to say. It's time to get into the news, people. It's good to be back and saying that. Right. So let us dive into that weekly news by going that's literally starting off with the property that James doesn't care about, Star Wars. We are getting a new Star Wars film from Taika Waititi, and he has confirmed that it will focus on a completely new cast of characters because he feels that the universe needs to expand and not focus on the same characters. And I think that's absolutely a great idea, to be honest, because the Skywalker saga has happened, Episode 9 has happened, we need to go somewhere else.
I mean, I might not be a fan of Star Wars, but I think that's a great idea as well, because, I mean, I really like a lot of Taika Waititi stuff that he's done recently. Like, Thor Ragnarok was fantastic. So I imagine it's in good hands, put it that way.
And we're getting a Thor Love and Thunder in 2 weeks, 2-3, or about a month's time, 2-3 weeks to a month's time. So really looking forward to, and that's only an hour and 58 minutes long. It's actually the shortest Marvel. It's about an hour and 56, hour and 58. It's one of the shortest Marvel movies they've had. So I probably won't have to go to the back from that movie. So I'm very happy with that. But yeah, no, it'll be really interesting to see with this movie. Taika has already said he's probably going to piss off a lot of Star Wars fans. So I'm also happy with that as well, because I still need to watch that flag means death or something like that, the new pirate show. Yeah, and I heard that's getting a second, that might be getting a second season as well, so that's pretty good to hear. And really look forward to that. Staying in the same vein of properties coming out and everything, we are getting the Gran Turismo movie from PlayStation, but it's going to be directed by Neil Blomkamp, which I did not expect, and it's touted for an August 11th 2023 release. This is from IGN. The story features a teenage Gran Turismo player and becomes an actual professional race car driver after winning a series of competitions. It appears to be based on the story of Jan Mardenborough, a British driver who began competing in events such as the F3 European Championship after winning the GT Academy reality show at the tender age of 19. This is from IGN. So I never expected Neil Blomkamp to be directing a Gran Turismo movie. A lot of people are joking that, is Tom Holland going to be in the trifecta for this? Because obviously it's a Sony property and he's British, obviously. But
Also, is Charlton Copley going to be in it?
Do you know what? I would not be surprised because he's in pretty much every other.
He's in every Neil Blomkamp movie. Yeah.
He'll be the older driver, or like the trainer or something, like, because he won't be like a bad character. He won't be I'm not doing a South African accent. I'm really not doing that because that could cause a lot of problems if I try and do that. But yes, Gran Turismo, another video game property that's coming out. Speaking of adaptations from video games, Duke Nukem is getting a video game adaptation movie from the creators of Cobra Kai. So this is Josh Hurd, John Hurwitz, and Hayden Schlossberg. Hope I pronounced that correctly. I really don't know how they're going to pull this off, because I don't know if you've played have you played the Duke Nukem games, James?
Nope.
They go to some very fucked up places, like pigs, like humanoid pigs having sex with women, hookers and everything, and like and if he doesn't chew bubble gum, and he's all out of bubble gum in this film, I bet that'll be a running joke in the movie. He'll get a piece of bubble gum at the end of the movie and be like, got my gum. And then he'll get knocked out of his hands, and then I guess I'm all out of gum. Time to do some more killing. But that's what will happen for the Duke Nukem movie. But I'll tell you this, the Cobra Kai guys did an amazing job with that property. I'm really looking forward to season 5 when it comes out. And they've actually really perfected the nostalgia factor. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with that. Going on another adaptation, which I was talking to a friend about the other day, it seems that Justin Lin has jumped off of the Fast franchise with the family to direct an adaptation of the One Punch Man manga anime series, based on the superhero Saitama, who essentially is the character of if he does one punch, you'll die. But it's essentially like a superhero comedy show to a degree, like has comedic elements, and I'd actually like to do a little bit of discussion down the line of fan castings as an episode. Who we'd cast in our favorite video game properties or like film properties. I'd actually quite be interested in doing that, because I've got a few in mind for this one. One of them was in Scott Pilgrim. Another one is in Stranger Things. And I'd be very interested to see what we do there. But Justin Lin did not expect this to happen, a One Punch Man movie. I think they could, obviously, you've not seen this, have you? You've not seen One Punch Man, yeah. So basically, like, it is essentially a character who he's the strongest man. He one punch and you're dead. Like, that's it. And it's the comedic aspect of like he can't be beaten, and he's always trying to find someone. And the first season, you can't hear so much, could be adapted into one film. It's about 13 episodes, and you could really condense that into one film. And it's really hilarious because no one believes he's that strong as well. Because there's this whole superhero society, graded superheroes, and he's marked as a grade C, which is like quite low. And then, but yeah, he's the strongest. Yeah, it's fucking weird. Okay. But I'm really looking forward to see where that goes, to be honest. Hopping over to final movie news, though, it seems we are rumored to be getting Joker 2. Well, actually, no, I believe we are getting Joker 2. But the rumor is it's going to be a musical.
Boom.
I mean, there's a artist online called Boss Logic who created a fan art piece. Go check him out, people. He actually did a lot of he did fan casting for Ahsoka in the Star Wars series, and she got cast, funnily enough, because of that. But he created a picture called Ha Ha Land, which I thought was hilarious, to be honest. James is not a fan of musicals.
No, I mean, when I heard Joker 2, I thought, yeah, I'm interested in that. I'm not so sure about it being a musical. I mean, I'll check out the trailer for it, but it has called me a little bit on that idea. Honestly, what I would have liked them to have done on the back of Joker, rather than do a sequel to Joker, would have been to done more solo movies based on iconic Batman villains like Mr. Freeze. I think that would have been a better direction. That's just my personal.
No, I definitely agree. I know. A lot of people. I know there's been talk of like the guy who's done like The Haunting of Hill House and Midnight Mass. I believe has talks of like he's wanted to do a DC horror movie. I might cut this out, but if it is the case, I'll keep it in. I've heard that the guy who created like that in Midnight Mass, he wants to do a Clayface movie, which I think very very horror. That would be really horror based. But I think like characters such as Toyman or what's his name, the ventriloquist doll. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But you had Annabelle. You could do something like that. You could do something really creepy like that. And yeah, Mr. Freeze would be amazing. Two-Face would be amazing. It'd be a psychological drama. Yeah. Be really awesome to do. Yeah, I'd be really interested to see what they do here. And on top of this, though, it's rumored to be getting Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn. Now this was interesting because if it's a musical, very good to get Harley Quinn in there. And Joaquin Phoenix is known for doing musicals as well, or musical films, because he did Walk the Line, the Johnny Cash movie, and that was an amazing film, to be honest. I'm just hoping, like, because he did lose a lot of weight for that last film. Like I know people are concerned about him losing that amount of weight again, and hopefully he doesn't have to. And maybe he's in the asylum at the end of that film. Maybe that's where it leads off, meeting Harley Quinn, and he's had a few sandwiches, and he's got himself right in the asylum. Well, right for the Joker. Now I'm wondering, do you think they'll eventually tie it into Pattinson's Batman, or do you reckon it will still be its own thing?
I think it will still be its own thing because we've already spoilers for the Batman.
Oh yeah, I forgot about this.
We've
You can tell I
already
care.
been already been very briefly introduced to who is the Joker in that universe.
It still annoys me.
Yeah, I'm actually not sure that Joaquin Phoenix's Joker would quite. I suppose it could do, but no, they're definitely different universes.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, like, if DC could pull this off, like, I know they're wanting to do more movies like Joker. Like, they are wanting to do more things. I know they're currently filming the Batgirl movie with Brendan Fraser as the bad guy. They're doing a Blue Beetle film, the first Latin superhero-led film as well. So that's pretty good to see. And I'm a big fan of Blue Beetle. And the main character from Cobra Kai is the main actor in that. Jolo, I believe his name is. Hope I pronounced his name correctly. And they're also doing a Batman animated Aztec themed movie. Now, that's very interesting to say the least.
Yeah, it's very unusual.
Yeah,
It's but there's been some very different, interesting interpretations of the Batman. So I actually quite like experimenting with the character. I'll tell you one that I do really like. I've only seen the animated version of this, which is Gotham by Gaslight.
I really did enjoy that.
Victorian Batman,
And
I
Jack the
really like
Ripper.
that. Yeah.
Jack the Ripper. Yeah, no, and the one I hated, really didn't like, was Batman Ninja.
Same. It was one of the worst films I've ever seen, and it had good reviews.
Yeah,
I was like, oh my god, this is cringeworthy. Horrible.
The thing is, though, that could have worked as a film really well because major martial arts movie set in the feudal era, it would have been amazing. But it was just I really did not like that film, and a lot of people think I love my films. People should have seen me when I came out Batman versus Superman. And I believe James was with me actually for that movie, to be honest. Yeah. But yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to this film. If it is a musical, I'm a big fan of musicals, and Joaquin Phoenix and Lady Gaga are amazing actors in their own right, and it'd be really interesting to see. And the Joker did make over $1 billion for the studio, and only required and this is from IGN again, only required a budget of 60 million. So that's a fucking good increase. You know, it's over 10 time increase. But yes, moving over to TV shows, people. Squid Game. Did you watch Squid Game, James?
It's not something that interests me.
Fair. So obviously, you know, we knew we were getting a season 2 quite a while ago, but it seems that it was been confirmed for a third time now. And it's, you know, we're getting characters back. We are getting Gihan, the front man. James, I don't know who these people are. But yeah, really looking forward to see where this goes. Obviously, we're probably not going to get it till end of 2023, beginning of 2024, I think. And the fact this is actually going off of from Hwang Da-hyuk, the writer, director, producer, creative Squid Game, actually wrote on the Netflix Twitter page. It took 12 years to bring the first season of Squid Game to life last year. It took 12 days for Squid Game to become the most popular Netflix series ever. As the writer, director, and producer of Squid Game, a huge shout out to the fans around the world. Thank you for watching and loving our show. And now Gi-hun, hope I pronounced his name correctly, the front man, returns as well. Season 2 is coming. The man in the suit who Dark G might be back. You'll also be introduced to Young Hee's boyfriend, Chol Soo. Hope I pronounced these names correctly. Join us once more for a new round by Hwang Dong-hyuk. I hope I pronounced his name correctly. I apologize if I haven't. But loved the first season. I highly recommend it, James. I think you would enjoy it. And so glad it's getting a second season. And I'm really looking for. I can't really say much else until we hear more about it. But flipping on side of that, there seems that Netflix they decided to go on top of that and are asking for. They're creating a real life Squid Game called Squid Game: The Challenge with an actual $4.56 million prize, which is actually the amount in the show, I believe. It was 45 million in there in the show. But they're looking for 456 real players to actually participate in this game. and I believe it'll be like a series of a series of games as well. And they are casting in America, the Europe, the UK, and Asia as well. Now, I'd love to participate in this, but it turns out I've actually already looked at the requirements, and you need to have a passport available, and you need to have 4 weeks. You need to be available for 4 weeks. So that is insane. Like I don't think my work's going to allow me. I'd like to go to my work and go, hi, can I take 4 weeks off? I want to go play Squid Game. I'd be, I'd be really interested to see, to be honest. But I'm really looking forward to see what they do here. Honestly, and also it's that show really did bring a revitalization for Korean TV shows, and it's I really think that's really good, to be honest, because a lot of people are more international viewing is being made, because I think we had Money Heist, which was the Spanish Portuguese show, which was a lot of people loved, and then we're getting more international shows, which I think is really awesome. So that is finishing off our shows, finishing off Squid Game, people. But we are now hopping over to James, more like this. We are getting more Cuphead episodes, James. I know you enjoyed that.
I enjoyed the first season, so I'm up for. I mean, it is essentially a kids show, but it's you've got a bit of nostalgia for the old school cartoons from back in the day. Then I think Cuphead's great.
Yes, and I believe we're getting that in August. Yes, August 19th. You're actually getting that, James. So that's actually quite soon. Yeah. And this is actually going off the Netflix Geek Week. We are getting a Dragon Age Absolution Netflix animated series. So we're getting that in December. So it is obviously, yeah.
I mean, it's been a while since the last Dragon Age game.
2015, 2016, I believe that was, or
2014. Yeah, okay. End of 2014.
So
I know they've got a new Dragon Age game in the works as well.
Dreadwolf, yeah.
Yeah. I'm guessing that might be new news for later on, spoilers.
No, actually, not as much, to be honest. We're not really willing to talk about that as much.
No, I'm in two minds. I mean, Dragon Age, I don't mind it. I'm not one of these people who are a massive fan of the Dragon Age games. It's okay.
Yeah, no, I tell you, I mean, I remember playing the first one, and I got 50 hours in, and then my save file got corrupted, and I was like, no, I'm good, no, I'm done, no, can't do it anymore.
No, I agree.
And then I didn't play 2 because I think Inquisition was coming out quite soon.
Yeah,
and I just went straight into Inquisition and loved it. I thought the soundtrack was amazing.
So I did play them all. What annoyed me a little bit about the first game was the DLC, which I didn't play purely because I had one ending where they couldn't continue it canonically, because you're carrying on as the same character, and I sacrificed my character. I heroically sacrificed my character at the end of the first game story.
Yeah, but to be fair, if you're the hero, you tend to do that, don't you? I mean, spoiler: Mass Effect did that as well. So, or did he? Well, we might find out in next year, possibly. Because obviously, there's that rumor of Shepard dead?
I heard that rumor, and I hate it if they retcon it in that way. I hate that.
Well, we saw it in the game. In the game, you see him breathe, or her breathe.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There's I believe there's a very, very, very brief clip of Shepard in the rubble, and you just see the chest move. Could be just like the air escaping.
I'm probably one of the rare people who actually likes the idea of Shepard dying at the end of the third.
No, I actually did like that as well, to be honest, too, because I think that's very appropriate.
Sense, with the character and the direction of the game. I mean, it's what I hated. When we can do a whole discussion about what I didn't like at the end of Mass Effect 3, but another time.
Yeah, no, and hopefully we'll see where that goes. And I still need to finish Andromeda, because that game got a lot of flack, but I actually went back and played it. It was actually quite good, to be honest. After they did all the patching and the fixing and everything, it was actually a quite good game. I just think it needed a bit more narrative correction in it, but I still think Mass Effect 1 has the best story.
Yes.
It would have been nice to have a full remake of that game. Like, we're going to get into another game in a minute that had a full remake. But because obviously the combat in the first one is not the best at all compared to 2 and 3.
Yeah.
No, it really isn't. But it had the strongest story still. And I speak to people. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, no, really look forward to that. And obviously we're supposed to be getting a Mass Effect TV show as well still from Amazon. So that after The Expanse, I think they can easily pull that off. But yeah, no, Dragon Age Absolution coming in December. So I'm really looking forward to seeing that. Hopping over now to the show that I've been waiting to hear about for so long, Castlevania Nocturne, the spin-off to the first series that came out. It follows Richter Belmont, a descendant of the original show's Trevor Belmont and Sophia. And, he's joined by Maria Renard, and it's set during the French Revolution. I cannot wait for this show. Castlevania is the greatest video game adaptation ever. Fight me. People will go Arcane is the best, but I will say Arcane is only number 2 right now because Castlevania finished. Castlevania was 26 episodes. It was 26 episodes from start to finish. It was amazing. It started a very slow burn, big narrative increase. I think it was on one of my top lists as well. Go back and listen to a previous podcast. I think I go into more detail with Castlevania, but I love the fact that this show is continuing on the story, just like the video games. And also, you don't need to play the video games to actually understand this series, which I think was amazing. I think Arcane did that as well, amazingly. But I still think this is the number 1 video game adaptation ever, in my opinion. I don't care what anyone says. I will fight you. I will fight you. But it is the greatest, and I'm really happy to finally see that we're getting this. There's no release date yet. I'm presuming it'll probably be like next summer because 2D animation takes a long time to produce sometimes compared to 3D animation, which I'm really happy for. They're putting the care into it, and obviously Netflix animation department had their cut as well, so I'm kind of glad this is still going on as well. And hopefully we're getting Cuphead, Dragon Age, and this. So yeah, it'd be really good to see. Hopping along to our final 2 things though, staying in the video game adaptation realm though, it seems that Cyberpunk Edgerunners, their Netflix show, has been announced for September. So I'm sure you might like this, James.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be interested in it. Certainly, I'll definitely check it out. It's not something I'm going to be super hyped about, but I'll definitely check it out.
Yeah, it's a 10-episode story about street punk becomes a mercenary. I haven't read the news article, but supposedly the character in the show has actually been referenced in the game for 2 years. So I'd be really interested to see. Yeah, if you go check that out, people, there's a news article online about how the character has been referenced for 2 years in the video game. So yeah, I do still need to find a complete Cyberpunk 2077. So
it's worth it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But yeah, no, that's our final video game adaptation talk. But finishing off though, the news, which I'm very happy with, The Boys has been renewed for season 4, and I'll tell you this now. It was inevitable that the show was going to be renewed because have you seen the new season yet, James?
I have not seen the new season, no.
Jesus fucking Christ! In the first 10 minutes, I went, "Oh, okay, they've got carte blanche now. They could do anything they fucking want." Like they show you, I'll use this emphasis. They ram it into you in the first 10 minutes that this show does not give a fuck what it shows anymore. And they're just going balls to the wall, and it was epic. And also the introduction of some characters. Also Homelander, he is unhinged this season, like completely unhinged. It is scary how scary he is already, and we're only 4 episodes in, about halfway through now, and it's terrifying. And I'm so glad we're getting 4th season of this. I'm hoping. I don't think they should go longer than season 5 because they started to go into more of the comic books now. They are. I don't know if you've read any of the comic books and anything about the comic books. Nah, it's fine then. But I think season 4 has been announced. If you could push it for season 4, season 5 should be the end. Just end at season 5 at the latest because I don't think they should go above that. Go on a high. Don't let it run on too long.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. But that is the news, people. That is the news. We are finishing up with the news, and what a lovely, lovely time it was.
An illegal spy agency discovers the theft of a prototype weapon. Derek, codename Confused Llama, and his handler, Frank, codename Majestic Vole, investigate the theft. A naive man with fanciful notions, Derek sets out on his inept journey to reclaim the weapon from villainous hands, unaware of the hidden tale following him. Enter the world of Confused Llama, A Spy's Tale, a short comedic spy thriller available on Amazon in paperback or Kindle.
But now we are going to get into the game section. Now, usually we do the game section in its own news section, but because we had the amount of games we had this week, which was insane, let's just get straight into it, James. I know you're looking forward to this game because you're a big fan of this, big fan of the studio. Starfield. They finally showed gameplay.
Honestly, I thought we were going to say XCOM 3. I'm a big fan of Firaxis. I'm not such a big fan of Bethesda. I mean, I'm happy. I mean, I like their games. I like Elder Scrolls. I like Fallout games. I'm not going to say I'm a massive fan of Bethesda because, as a developer, they're okay. They're producing great stuff. As a publisher, they publish some fantastic stuff.
Mhm.
Like Arcane's games, which are published under Bethesda's umbrella. That's the studio associated with Bethesda that I would say I absolutely do love. Bethesda, I don't mind. I'm in the like camp, but not the love camp in terms of their actual games.
But yeah, no, obviously Arcane, Arcane Austin, we'll talk about them in a moment. But yeah, so obviously Starfield is in the works from the producers, obviously, Fallout and everything, and Skyrim, and I've seen the gameplay of this. A lot of people are joking that it's No Man's Sky 2.0 because basically you build your character, obviously classic Bethesda character creation. It's been I feel like the upgrade system's been upgraded quite a lot. The UI is very clean. I'll say this from the get-go. From the footage I've seen, it's very uniform. Like, it's very... You know how, like, on some games you get very, like, square-based UI? You get very square-based UI and everything.
Yeah.
It's very clean, and I actually really like that in that game, to be honest, because Deathloop, love the game, absolutely love the game. The UI in that game, on the other hand, is quite compact.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know if have you played Deathloop?
Yeah, I mean, Vigor was my number one top game of last year when we did that.
Oh yeah, of course. Don't get me wrong. I love the game. The game. I just think the UI could have had a bit more work in there, and it took me a bit to understand. But looking at Starfield, I think it looks great. Yeah. The worlds we've seen, the world you initially start off on. There's a few news articles basically how it goes. Like you'll start off with this is coming from IGN, but also news articles. How it is going, like there'll be told how it's going. There will be a step out moment like in classic Bethesda style. So obviously, but the step out moment, I'm wondering if it is like in the showcase where you do go onto this planet. It's not very green. It has a very like otherworldly grayish texture to it, like outpost style. Like you go into the outpost and everything, you hunt these people down and whatnot. I didn't mind it. You do mine resources, which is ironically like No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky is a lot more colorful, I'll be honest with you, but I think with Starfield there'll be a lot more to do, and a lot maybe a lot more coming on time as well, because obviously No Man's Sky had a lot of issues when it released. Don't get me wrong, I've been playing it recently. It's actually amazing now, but it released a bit too early, I think, and Starfield with its delay as well. That's been delayed. I'm really looking forward to see what they have. They were supposed to come out November, but they've delayed it till 2023 now. They've not specified a day in 2023. I think it will be, they say, a lot of people thinking spring. I think it'll be a summer title. I think it will be the big summer title next year. But going off that, like how big that game is, they've said the main quest is about 20% bigger than previous Bethesda games. Saying it will take about 30-40 hours to complete the main game. But then there are over 1,000 planets, James, to visit.
Jesus.
I know, it's a bit too much. 1,000 planets is a bit too much. I mean, and also, is every planet going to have a major system? Like, are there going to be 1,000 major systems, or is it going to be like, 20-30% are going to have major systems? I will say the major system we went to, the coalition, or like the colonizers or something. I can't remember the exact name, but basically there's a company. Oh, sorry. There's a headquarters for what's called the Constellation, which is a faction you join, which is like the last group of space explorers. They're called the Constellation. A lot of people have said how the aesthetic of their city looks like Mass Effect. Like it has but to be fair, though, Mass Effect has a very clean, almost Star Trek-esque, like realistic approach to it. In my opinion, it has a very clean effect, where Star Wars is a lot more grungy. I'm wondering if every like system will have that effect, and obviously you've not seen this yourself yet, but it'd be really interesting to see, to be honest. It'd be really interesting to see where they go from that. Just hoping it's going to be really good. They actually gave us 15 minutes of like in total Starfield, because obviously that's what people wanted to see from the Xbox showcase. And when the Xbox Extended happened, they went into a bit more detail, I believe. Like they had a bit more like interview from the Bethesda studio. So yeah, it'd be interesting to go from there. Really, really looking forward to Starfield. I'm betting summer 2023 or Q2 2023. So yeah, between April and July, I'd say. That's probably a good bet. Moving over to another Bethesda title, though. You were literally just talking about Arcane. Redfall.
Yeah. One Arcane game I don't care about.
Wow, interesting. Okay, fair enough. The fictitious games that are we hunt vampires. I'm half and half with this game because it can be played as a single player game. They
Oh,
have
okay. I
said.
didn't realise that goes a little bit further.
Yeah, so it's an open world first person shooter video game that features both single player and cooperative multiplayer modes. So it can be played both ways.
Okay, that goes a little bit higher in my maybe to play in that case. It was because I thought it was a multiplayer only game that I wasn't.
It reminded
so
you of Left 4
interested
Dead, didn't
because,
it?
Which I love playing Left 4 Dead back in the day, but I'll be honest, these days I tend to move. I am more single player focused myself.
Yeah, no, I totally get that.
Particularly like narrative games or strategy games, those were two I like. I mean, my turn-based stuff like XCOM, which I'm sure we're going to get onto in a bit, is what. No.
Yeah, no, definitely agree.
Those two genres are my favourite.
Sure. Yep. Well, do you know what? Let's go on to XCOM now. XCOM now. Yes. So it seems that we are still getting XCOM free after the next game we'll be talking about, Marvel's Midnight Suns from Firaxis. They've said basically, this is going from an interview now. Project lead Garth DeAngelis. I hope I pronounced his name correctly. Apologies if I haven't. We just had this opportunity that we placed on our lap. It was too good to pass up. Let me apologies. It was too good to pass up. We just had this opportunity that was placed on our lap. It's totally natural to say, where else can we go? And frankly, that's a blessing. That's a good problem to have. So, it's a case of like, we can explore this territory that's exciting, exploratory that's exciting. These things that XCOM 3 aren't necessarily about that we could do with this IP are incredibly exciting. We could blaze new ground there. So, it's a case of like, we are still going to get XCOM free because obviously they're going to have to follow on from the last one. They're going to have to go subnautical in the next one. Especially how the last one ended.
Remake of Turf from the Deep is what I'm expecting.
Yeah.
And then I don't know what they'll do for. And then number 4 would be a remake of XCOM 2, but in underwater.
Yeah, and do you know what? Do you know what they should get rid of? The timer. Get rid of the fucking timer. I don't want the timer anymore. I hated the timer in XCOM 2. Really did. I know you do. Yeah, but you like Iron Man mode, don't you?
I do play Iron Man. Yeah, I hate the idea of reloading saves. In any of these kind of games, in any of these kind of games, if I make a mistake, I want to live with that mistake.
Sadist. That's all I'm saying. You're a sadist.
I always feel that if you can like reloading it and to trying to undo a mistake, then that's up to you. But personally, I see that as cheating.
No, I get that. I'm the complete opposite. I will save to my goddamn heart's content. I will hit that the F5 button as much as I fucking can, and
if I don't have I mode on or a game doesn't have I mode, I'm a bit bad at saving quite a bit in my games, but only because I'm scared of the game crashing. Because I used to have that back in the day. I'm losing so much progress. That's the only reason why I save quite a bit.
I mean, if you reload the save, your accuracy might get better after a 98% shoot chance.
Well, it's cheating.
Whatever, I don't care.
It's okay. I mean, you do.
I'll do me. Yeah, I'll do me, and I'll kill everything and save as I go along. But yeah, no, I really look forward to hoping to get an XCOM 3 as we go through. But going off though, quickly onto Marvel's Midnight Suns though, like I'm really interested to see where this game goes because I'm just going to bring the game up now.
I've got quite a lot about this game actually.
Yeah, it's a card-based RPG, if I'm correct.
Yeah, card-based turn-based tactics game. It sounds like it's going to play very differently from the XCOM games. It's not like that at all. But it's kind of got a few interesting mechanics. Like there's a whole downtime section area where when you're not in combat, you can talk to the other heroes, and you can like make friendships and potentially can like you'll have people who like heroes who you get on with, and then ones you don't get on with, and that will also have an impact, kind of like in the battles and stuff, I believe.
Yeah, and also like obviously they announced Spider-Man is coming into it, Hulk, Venom, which was really interesting. So we're getting playable characters such as Iron Man, Captain America, Wolverine, Spider-Man, Scarlet Witch, Doctor Strange, Captain Marvel, Blade, Ghost Rider, Magic, and Nico Minoru, who was actually in the recent Runaways TV show, which was actually set in the MCU. And also she's voiced by the same character who actually played her in the TV show, which I think is really awesome. And also it's been confirmed that Yuri Lowenthal, who voiced Peter Parker in the Spider-Man games, is also voicing Spider-Man here as well. It's coming out October 7th. So hint, hint. Video for that's my birthday month, people. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
It's coming out for PlayStation 4, 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, Steam, Epic, and also a Nintendo Switch version will be coming later. Now, I'm wondering if this will be for the Switch Pro that's eventually going to be announced, because obviously that's going to be announced down the line, and we're hoping it's going to be announced down the line, especially when Breath of the Wild 2 comes out. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this game, to be honest, because when they announced, like, well, I thought it was just going to be like XCOM, but when they said it had a card-based element to it, I was like, okay, I'm into this. Yeah, it's completely different. And also,
completely different.
And the role-playing elements, as you said, you know, you start off in like, you know, a place called the Abbey, which is the place you spoke about. It's the your base of operations and how you can talk to people there. Yes, but yeah, moving on to our next one though. James, are you a Resident Evil fan?
Nope.
Well then, you won't give a shit about this section. So obviously, you know, it's been the worst kept secret in the world for the last years that we're going to be getting a Resident Evil 4 remake. It's probably considered one of the best video games ever. For a lot of people from the last 20 years. And obviously, Resident Evil 4 changed the way those games were played, because originally the games were played in a tank movement style, so it's the, you know, forward, left, you know, and then this changed it to over the shoulder. Resident Evil 5 changed that when you can move and shoot at the same time. Resident Evil 4 you couldn't. But we're getting the remake finally, and it is coming out March 24th, 2023 for PS5, Xbox Series S, X, and PC. And we got a very, very small snippet of the opening intro. Basically, in the game, you're tasked 6 years after the Resident Evil 2 and 3, which we'll get into in a second, to rescue Ashley, the president's daughter, from this Spanish village. Unlike the previous games where it was zombies, these are like infected. They're infected like with Las Plagas, you know, Ouroboros virus, I believe. So it's like these. It's like a really bad infection that could cause like tentacle creatures to rip out of you, and like, you know, insect creatures to come out of you. It's fucked up. It was creepy as fuck in the original version. I don't know how they're gonna. And I've heard they've redesigned them for this, so I'm wondering how they're gonna do it. Also, it introduced us to the guy who everyone loves in Resident Evil. Got some things for you, stranger. It introduced us to the shopkeeper, which everyone loved. Hopefully he'll be back. But yeah, obviously, you know, everyone's been waiting for this with Leon S. Kennedy coming back. I know we have a few friends who hates the guy, but I love the guy with his 90s hairstyle still. And I actually recently, in the last few weeks, replayed Resident Evil 4. The game still holds up. Someone actually recently created a HD project of this game. It took them 8 years, and it looks great. They actually did it all, you know, it was free and everything. It was great. I absolutely loved it. I don't have their name on hand, but shout out to the person I might tag you later on. But yeah, no, I thought this was excellent news, to be honest. Obviously, we knew we were getting this with the Capcom presentation. I'm still hoping, I know you probably won't care for this, but I'm still hoping for a Dino Crisis remake at some point. Right. James, like, I have no fucking idea. It's basically Resident Evil with dinosaurs. That's pretty much it. It's Jurassic Park with many more guns. That was pretty much it, to be honest. And I know a lot of people have been calling for that for ages. Hopefully we'll eventually get that next year or at Gamescom maybe. We'll finish that Resident Evil 4 though, because it didn't give us too much, but we're going to go to the other Resident Evil talk though. Resident Evil 2, 3, and 7 got some upgrades, which is pretty awesome. So obviously they got just going to bring this up now. So it seems they got a recent patch, which includes a 4K resolution up support, higher visual frame rates, and ray tracing for PS5, Xbox Series X, and 3D support, and also PC. The PS5 version also got DualSense controller haptic feedback increase, and and also everyone who got this game got it for free. You didn't need to actually get a next gen upgrade, which I think is really good for console developers to do. To be honest, if you already got the game, unless it's a complete remake, you know, if it's just a buffer upgrade, 5 to 10 quid. That's fine, you know. But if it's free, perfect. I love the term free. Who doesn't love the term free? Honestly, people. But yeah, no. Probably play Resident Evil 2 again. It was an amazing remake, like a remake, not a remaster. We'll get into that remaster in a second. But yeah, absolutely loved it. Resident Evil just had a huge, Capcom had a whole show. So obviously we're gonna finish off with Resident Evil 8. James just like, I have no idea where any of this is because obviously Resident Evil don't give a fuck. But Resident Evil 8, thought the game was brilliant. It's a continuation of the Ethan Winters story from Resident Evil 7, which I thought was shifted the game again from a new perspective to first-person perspective, haha. And that was terrible in a way. But they've added DLC they're going to be bringing out. So basically Mercenaries update for Chris Redfield, Lady Dimitrescu, which everyone, all those horny gamers out there want, for that 9-foot vampire lady. You must know who Lady Dimitrescu is at least.
Yeah, I mean, I've been made vaguely aware of it.
Yeah, exactly. You can't really get out of that without that. And then also, two more things from that. Obviously, PS5. So obviously, it's already on PS5. But we're getting an additional story called the It's called the what is it called? Apologies. It's called The Shadows of Rose, which follows Ethan's daughter 16 years after the story of the game, and it takes place inside the Megamycete, in the consciousness of this like ooze, and you're attacked by both the castle and enemies, which I think is really awesome. And because she has these like weird powers that she's trying to get rid of, so it'd be really awesome to see. And it's a continuation of the story, which I think really good for Resident Evil to do. Finishing off though with that DLC for Resident Evil 8, they're adding a third-person mode. Now, Resident Evil 8 was first-person, like Resident Evil 7, but adding a third-person mode because a lot of people called for that. I think this is because obviously they're remaking Resident Evil 4, which is going to be completely third-person. Because obviously the Shadow of Rose DLC is third-person as well. So I think they're just trying to get everyone ready for how the mechanics are going to work, because this comes out on October 28th, and they're going to be releasing it as the Resident Evil 8 Gold Edition, or Resident Evil Village, with the 8 as the Village Gold Edition on the 28th of October. So a good month for October, Midnight Suns and Resident Evil 8. And that's all the Resident Evil now talk, James, so don't worry, we're at the Resident Evil talk now. I know, James, like, thank fuck.
No, I don't care. I mean, it's fun. I don't really know the franchise, that's just me.
Yeah, but going over to a production company, though, James, did you play Death Stranding?
Nope. Sorry, just so many games that I haven't played, unfortunately.
So obviously, Kojima-san, Hideo Kojima. James has been.
I do know who he is. I've played Metal Gear Solid 5, and that's about the only one I've played.
Wow, you have not played 2 or 4 or okay.
I'm a PC gamer.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, they are on PC as well, but so it's been announced that Hideo Kojima is going to be working with Xbox on a new game, and he did mention the cloud as well, which is interesting. So now Kojima does make some amazing titles. Obviously, he's worked a lot with PlayStation, and there's actually been a news article recently about how a lot of people are worried that basically with him working with Xbox now, how is his relationship with Sony, because people thinking he's still making a Sony title. But he has, they issued a statement saying there's no issue with Sony. We have a very good partnership with PlayStation still. Can't a game developer be loved by everyone? Can't a game developer work for 2 different studios to create a game? Also, he's a name unto himself. Okay, to be fair, if Shigeru Miyamoto or, some Nintendo developer was like, I'm going to go create a PlayStation game now while working with a Nintendo still, that would be unprecedented. It'd be amazing to see, but it'd be unprecedented. But Kojima, Metal Gear Solid games have been on the Xbox in the past, I believe. And that could work, but that's Konami. But Hideo Kojima working with Xbox, I'm really interested to see that, to be honest. I really want to see that. And I'm really interested to see what he does. Obviously, with the Xbox Showcase, they actually did say all the games were in the next 12 months. This was the only one where basically he just said, oh, yeah, I'm in a partnership with Xbox now. So basically they're developing something. I'm really looking forward to see what he does, because I'm a really big fan of his. Death Stranding took me a bit to get into because it takes like 70 hours to complete, but I love the game nonetheless. We've got a few people on here as well who love that game as well. Going off that though, people, coming into our final roll up of all of this, The Last of Us, James.
Yes, I can finally play it. It's coming to PC.
Yes, and only took 9 years, because that's how long it takes to get a remake nowadays. And this is a lot of controversy that people are been really, really uppity about. For some people, like saying, did we need a remake? Did we need this? Did we need that? And I'm thinking, because they have remade this completely from the ground up with the Part 2 engine. And also, they've renamed it The Last of Us Part 1. So obviously, 2 parts. And also, do you know what? I'm surprised it's actually coming out this soon. Coming out for PC as well. And I don't know if it's coming out PC at the exact same time. I believe it's coming out later, but September 2nd, I believe this is coming out, the remake. It's going to be priced at $70. The problem is, though, is the price. It's going to be £70 for the.
Wait a little bit longer then before I buy it.
Well, to be fair, this is the PS5 version. So the PC version will probably be cheaper, to be honest, because PC versions are usually cheaper. I'm going to play this again, no doubt. I'm going to play it again because it's The Last of Us. I absolutely fucking love the series. And I'm wondering if they're going to expand on the story. I know they've stated that they are going to be the story will play out the same way the original does, with voice acting, motion capture animations, seemingly changed from the original. But obviously, they actually did take data from the original version, and they were able to actually like make it more defined, which I think is really awesome. They're also going to be adding a lot more accessibility features that they take from Part 2, because there's like over 60 accessibility features, I believe there was, for at least 40 to 60 accessibility features for Part 2, which I thought was incredible. And I'm just really looking forward to seeing it. I still tear up at the first 10-15 minutes of Part 1. Still know what's going to happen. I still think it's brilliant. Amazing series. People who dissed on Abby in the second one can fuck off, because like Laura Bailey, who voiced Abby in Part 2, she got a lot of hate from community, and those people can fuck off.
Yes.
Like generally, honestly, those people can just fuck off, because. No, it's not needed. Yes, so Moses Ingram from Star Wars in the recent Obi-Wan series, she plays Reva, the character. She's began a load of racist abuse online. Like it's wrong. Like it's completely wrong. Yeah, they're actors, the performers. They don't need abuse. They're playing a part.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Stop hate you guys, please.
Yeah, no, like, you know, as I think I've said about for having, like, Laura Bailey won like a BAFTA for her performance as Abby, and you know, if you win a BAFTA, fuck them all, like, you know. But honestly, yeah, as James said, stop the abuse. You know, it's not fucking needed. These people are doing a job and doing a great job with it. Just fucking stop it. I know Kelly Marie Tran, she was a character of Rose in The Last Jedi. She left Twitter and social media because she got a lot of abuse, and that's wrong, like completely. And just fucking stop it. I know some Anton Mount came out recently from the Star Trek community in support of Moses Ingram as well. Like, you know, Star Trek families with, you know, everything. Because, you know, why? You know, it's a fictional property.
Yeah.
Like, you know, just don't put abuse on these people. But yeah, go back to Laura Bailey though. She did an amazing performance. Stop the hate. And I'm really looking forward to see how it goes. I'm really looking forward to seeing how you find her in Part 2. I thought she was great. I thought she was great in Part 2. And but yeah, finishing off with The Last of Us though, we're getting Part 1 on September 2nd for PS5 and PC. So I'm really looking forward to see what that does there. Speaking of another remaster PC port though, we are getting Spider-Man on August 11th, I believe. So I'm really looking for August 12th for PC, Steam, and Epic. So I don't know if you'd be interested in playing that, James, to be honest.
Probably not, but yeah, if anybody who likes Spider-Man and are a PC gamer like me, it's coming to PC. Yay.
I'll be honest with you, dude. I think you'd actually enjoy it. It's one of the
probably
best.
Would, but there's so many games that I've got to play. I don't want to. I don't want to. Yeah, I'm trying to cut down, to be fair, on how much I play. I'm determined. I decided to complete Elden Ring, so that is that's my game for the year.
Yeah, you could get hundreds of hours in that. And then there's me who could complete a 70, 80 hour game in a week and a half, 2 weeks, and everyone's like, what the fuck, Nate? Like, but no, I honestly do recommend it, like, eventually down the line, maybe. I still think that game still makes me tear up at the end. I still think it has an amazing ending. And also, obviously, we're getting a sequel, Spider-Man 2, from Insomniac. And also, they're doing the Wolverine game, which no one expected. So, and I believe they're in the share. They might possibly be in the same universe, so they might be creating their own like Marvel universe. That'd be pretty awesome. That's not confirmed, people. That's just me speculating. But you know, that's another PC port that we're getting. Staying in the PC vein, though, we are getting a final release date for the video game Stray from Annapurna Interactive, which is the game, a first-person action game where you play as a cat. In a world populated by robots, adventure to return to his family. They must solve puzzles and progress through the narrative, including moving obstacles and traversing platform. The player is accompanied by a droid companion called B12, who can assist by translating the language of the robots and storing items found in the world. One of the game's enemies are Zerks, who attack the player in vicious swarms. This was from Wikipedia. This is coming to PC, PS4, and PS5 on July 19th, and I cannot wait for this game. And also, it is going to be part of the PlayStation Plus collection. So anyone who's on the second or third tier of the PlayStation Plus collection, you know, the one we've discussed before, they get it for free. They just get it added. Now, they did say that, I believe PlayStation did say they're not adding their first party titles to the Game Pass, but this is third party, so maybe we'll get more indie titles so people can play it. I know we've got a few people on the podcast who love their cats. So I think they're going to be loving a game where they play exclusive as a cat. And I'll be really interested to see what they have. And it's only like a month away. Like when this comes out, when this episode comes out, it'll just be a month away. So it'll be really awesome to see. Going on to our final two games, though, people. Have you heard of the Callisto Protocol, James?
Nope.
Okay, and how can I put this? It's Dead Space, pretty much.
Okay, I've heard of that.
Yeah. Basically, it's from Glenn Schofield, who previously created the Dead Space series, and he's gone on to create this new game, which is called the Callisto Protocol. It's set in a prison colony called Black Iron, operated by the United Jupiter Company, and it's situated on Jupiter's moon Callisto. You play as Jacob Lee, voiced by Josh Duhamel, and find themselves in the midst of an alien invasion. They've been engineered by the prison's warden. Now, this game was supposed to be part of the PUBG universe. It's separate now. I believe, yeah, it's separate now. But it does supposedly it might make small nods to that series as well. But they've finally shown some gameplay footage of this, and Jesus Christ is fucking gory, like violent. Like, Dead Space was violent, but this is like, it ends with the guy getting caught in like a turbo bind and get pulled in, to get ripped apart as he gets pulled in. That's how you end it. You know how in Dead Space how they had like the health bar on the spine?
Nope, not played it. I'm aware of what game it is. I know it's a horror sci-fi game.
Okay, so basically in Dead Space you had your health bar was on your spine. Yeah, and in this one it's on your neck. They literally like made it horizontal on your neck.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and really interested to see where this goes, to be honest. And like, I'm just really, I don't know. This comes out December 2nd. Now it's interesting because the Dead Space remake comes out in January. So the game he originally worked on is getting a remake coming out a month later than the game he's making now. Yeah, James is like, okay, that's
it's interesting, isn't it? Yeah.
But I'm really looking forward to playing this. It's very violent. I'm not hugely into my violent games, to be honest, a lot of the time. But Dead Space I loved because obviously the limb tearing and like, you know, or this game also has like a telekinesis gun where you can pull people in and throw them back and everything and then shoot them, and it looks very interesting. It showed you two parts of the game, like near the beginning, near the middle. And yeah, I'm just really looking forward to it. It's coming out for PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox X and S. And yeah, it's coming out December 2nd. And it's a single-player game made in Unreal Engine 5 as well. This is going off of Wikipedia. Just really looking forward to seeing this game. And obviously, you know, we're getting Dead Space. EA have been doing their own things with Dead Space, like their own like mini showcases. Like, so we won't really talk about that now, but we'll probably get a bigger talk about Dead Space later down the line. Finishing up though with our games talk, pretty much is a game called A Plague Tale Requiem. James probably hasn't heard of this game either.
Nope.
No, so it's a sequel to a game called A Plague Tale Innocence, which it's on Game Pass, I believe now. I'm just going to bring this up now on the old Wikipedia.
Something to do with a plague.
It is basically, I will give you a summation now. It is set in 1348, set during the 100 Years' War, and obviously the Black Plague is pretty much coming around at this time. I believe it's around this time, but you play as a character called Amicia, and you have a little brother called Hugo. And basically, within this world, there's rats. There's like fucking rats everywhere. And, you know, the light gets rid of them, fire gets rid of them, essentially. It had a lot of puzzle elements to it, because it was a survival puzzle game.
I think it was a QI episode, which indicated that it wasn't rats, but it was fleas on
Probably.
Rats.
Yeah.
That caused the...
Racist to rats, that's what it was. Racist to rats. But yeah, no, I thought this game was amazing. If you haven't played it, people, I believe it is on Game Pass. So just highly recommend playing this. It won a lot of awards. It was just beautiful and brilliant. The audio design was amazing. And yeah, it got like great reviews across the board. But it's getting its sequel, Plague Tale Requiem, which is set to come out this year. The game hasn't actually had a release date yet. It's just set for this year. But it is set after the events of the original game. You play as protagonist Amicia. But it seems this time around that there's more combat elements included in this game. So the first game didn't really have combat within it. It had very, very minor combat. But I don't really want to spoil too much because it does go into like powers and the brother and everything. But I don't want to spoil it. But I will say also the game is created by a French studio. so you can play the game entirely in French, the first one, if I remember correctly. So I thought it was pretty good. And you could play it in English if you want, but a lot of people play it in French with subtitles. Yeah, I think this looks amazing. Cannot wait for this. This was at the Xbox Bethesda showcase. It's coming out for Xbox Series X, PC, PS5, and PC later this year. And also, it will be on Game Pass day one. So, you can just play it with Game Pass, which I think is amazing. I'm really looking forward to playing this game. Can't wait for it. As soon as this appears on Game Pass, I might book an afternoon off work and I might play this game. Really looking forward to playing it. With all these games coming out, people, it's been a good time this year. I know. I do want to mention like a couple of things. Like, I know a lot of people expected God of War Ragnarok to be like, announced, like the release date to be announced for that, because everyone's been waiting for that game. There's rumors that it could be November, because a lot of people saying it's been delayed. I've heard reports. There's been news reports that that's false. It is still coming this year. Cannot wait for that game, because supposedly this is the last of the series. It's not going to be a trilogy. They've said it's going to be 2 games. Which I think would be very bold to do for a series like this. You create this new engine, new story, just 2 games. That's it. End of this story. I think that'll be really interesting to do. Don't know if that's fully confirmed. I've read a couple of news articles that might be it, but it'll be really interesting to see. I think we're probably going to find out a lot more PlayStation news, because PlayStation had their Resident Evil 4 announcement in the PlayStation Showcase, which was 30 minutes, but Xbox had a 90-minute showcase. PlayStation hasn't really done their big showcases in a while. I think we're going to get that bit down the line. Really, hopefully we do. And I bet Ragnarok will get its own state of play down the line as well. The one company I've heard nothing about, though, is Nintendo. Now, Nintendo is the weird one, because obviously we're getting Breath of the Wild 2 next year. I'd like to see a Mario Odyssey 2 coming out. I'd like to finally see news of the Switch Pro, like the new Switch console coming out. If we actually do get that, but I'd like to actually see Nintendo come out and give us a bit of news for the games coming out, because I've really dropped off my Switch in recent years, and I really like to go back and play. I really like to play some innovative games that they do, because Nintendo really do well with their games. I still need to play Metroid Dread, to be honest. But yeah, that was pretty much my my take of all the games and all the games that we had this year, and the not E3 Summer Games Fest, the Capcom Showcase. What I really liked and what I'm really looking forward to. Obviously, James probably heard about 30% of these games, and I was looking forward to some of them.
That's still free. That's what we gathered. That's still in production.
And Midnight Suns. Which,
yeah.
But yes, people. That is our show. I'm really looking forward to seeing. If you want to, drop us an email and or tweet at us, which games that you really liked during the showcase, or which games that you hope to have seen during the showcase, and what we could have had, and what you would have liked to see, or your dream games for Gamescom coming up, because we've got Gamescom coming up in August, I believe, September. So maybe we'll get some big reveals there. That could be when they do the God of War reveal. So we're getting Gamescom then. But maybe tweet at us at NMIcast. That's at NMIcast on Twitter and Instagram. Just drop us a message there, see what you think, or email us at nmipodcast@outlook.com. That's nmipodcast@outlook.com. Just drop us any questions, queries, compliments, anything you want to know from today, any ideas that you want to talk about, any topic suggestions in the future, because we'll probably get back to the topics next week. Though we do have some movies coming out soon, so we'll probably do some more reviews as well in the future. Listen to us on Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud, Player FM, we're all on your streaming platforms. If you search Linktree NMIcast, you'll be able to find most of our links there as well. That's Linktree NMIcast. If you look on there, find us there. I've been your host, Nate. I want to thank James for joining me today.
Yeah, it's been good.
Yeah, excellent. And we'll probably have a few more people next week. Maybe we might do a quiz next week again. I've got a few ideas for a possible quiz. I know James might be doing his quiz again, but adding the gaming aspect this time, which would be interesting.
Yeah, I could set that up if you want.
Yeah, might be a good idea. But yeah, people, again, if you want to get in contact with us, that's nmipodcast@outlook.com. That's nmipodcast@outlook.com, at nmicast. I've been your host, Nate. I hope you stay safe, everyone, and have a lovely, lovely weekend, especially in this hot British weather we're going to have. Stay safe, everyone. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye-bye.
And I'm not Fergus, but because Fergus isn't here, I'm going to have to do this. Bye!